Today we're going to talk about the differences between a van driver and a flatbed driver. So you want to become a flatbed driver. Here are a couple differences. Before we get into this, my first job as a truck driver, I actually drove van for 6 or 7 months, something like that. And then I went over to flatbeds. Now when I was going through school, I went through a trucking school. When I went into school, I really didn't know the difference that there was flatbeds or vans. I just figured truck driver, whatever, you know. And when I got in there, started learning about it. For whatever reason, about the 4th or 5th week into school, or probably about the 2nd or 3rd week into school, I decided I wanted to be a flatbed driver. Don't know why I wanted to be a flatbed driver, but it was about the 2nd or 3rd week in school. I started looking at companies, and for whatever reason, I wanted to do flatbeds. Got out of school and actually got with a van company, and so there's gnats everywhere. So anyways, I have drove van and I have drove flatbeds. I prefer flatbeds over vans. I can't stand driving vans, and I'm glad I actually drove a van, because now that I drove a van, I know what it's like, and I'll never drive van, reefer, whatever again. If I ever drive over the road, it'll be flatbeds, and that's what I'll be getting into. So I want to go over a couple of the differences between vans and flatbeds. If you've never drove a flatbed before, looking to get into it, here are a couple differences. The first thing is it's a very physical job. You're going to be going out, loading your own trailer and unloading your own trailer. Not really loading it. You'll have a forklift driver come load onto it, but you'll have to strap down and secure the load. You have to get up on the load. You're going to have to drag chains, throw chains, hook up binders, throw straps, and bind them down with a bar. That's not bad. The worst, not really worst, but if you've never done it before, is throwing tarps. You're going to have a tarp. If you throw a lumber tarp, it's over 100 pounds. You're going to have to put it up on your shoulder, get up on the trailer, and roll that out. A steel tarp weighs a little bit less because it's a little bit smaller. It weighs about 80 pounds. When you get to the unload spot, you're going to pull that tarp off. You're going to roll that up, and then you got to pick it off the ground, and your trailer sets about up to the bottom of your chin or so, maybe up to here, depending on how tall you are. So you got to be able to take that 100-pound tarp, pick it up, throw it up on your shoulder, and throw it up onto the bed of the trailer. And usually you got 2 tarps. So if you got a tarp a load, you're going to have 2 tarps you got to throw up onto the trailer, take off a trailer, roll up, throw them around. So that's the first thing. It's a very physical job. If you're lazy, if you're not self-motivated, you probably don't want to get into flatbeds, because you're going to be working and you're going to do it in all weather. Whether it's hot and humid, or whether it's blowing snow and freezing cold, pouring down rain, windy, whatever, you got to get out there. I've done it in all weather. I've done it blowing so hard where I was trying to tarp a load. It blew the tarp completely off the load and down through a field. Had to go drag it back up through, roll it back up, throw it back up on the trailer, and lay it out again. And I did it twice. It blew 2 different tarps off my load before I actually got it tarped down. That's how windy it was. And I've tarped steel coils in the pouring rain. You know, pulled into a building. They threw a coil on. I threw a chain across it. It was pouring rain, so I ran back and threw my tarp over it so it wouldn't get wet. Pulled out and went out in pouring rain and spent about 35-40 minutes throwing 6 or 7 chains, probably about an hour actually, throwing 6 or 7 chains, strapping them down, binding them down with the chains, and then getting up there and tarping it down in the pouring rain. And you got to do it. It's, you know, all weather conditions, you're going to be doing that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing, is it's a very physical job, and if you aren't motivated to get out there and be physical and throw tarps, chains, binders, or straps or whatever, then this probably ain't the job for you. The second thing, difference between flatbedding and vans or reefers or whatever, is the pay. You're going to get more pay running flatbeds. You're going to get more pay on the cents per mile if you're a company driver. Whenever I drove flatbeds over the road, I was getting paid 38 cents a mile on all miles, and I think the van drivers are getting paid 31 or 32. I was getting paid 38. I think they were getting paid 32, maybe 34, something to that effect. So as a company driver, you're getting paid more cents per mile. The other thing is you get extra pay, like if you got a tarp a load, which most of the times you do got to throw a tarp on a load, they're going to pay you anywhere from $50 to $100 extra for every load you got a tarp. So if the company I drove for was paying me, I think it was $100. I think Boyd Brothers paid me $100 to tarp a load, and I usually tarp 4 loads a week, so that's an extra $400 at the end of the week that's added on to your paycheck. So you're going to get paid more cents per mile, and you're going to get paid more if you got a tarp loads. The other thing is stop pays. I don't know with the vans, if you get paid extra for stop pays, you might get paid extra for stop pays. But the thing about that is, if you got 3 stops on a flatbed, that means you got to pull a tarp off, take straps off or chains. They take what they want, rechain, restrap it down, and put the tarp back on it. Get to the next stop, if it's a 3-stopper, say, same thing. Undo the tarp, take it off, take off chains, take off straps, whatever it is. They take what they want, put more straps, or, you know, if they're taking stuff off, you're not putting more straps on, but retarping it back down and stuff like that. But you're going to get paid for that. Like I said, I don't know if vans on a couple stops, they might get extra stop pay too, so I don't know if that's going to be extra money there or not. So you're definitely going to get paid more running flatbeds. It's going to be a lot more physical job. And the other thing is you're going to run a lot less miles. Maybe not a lot less miles, but if you figure you drop off like first thing in the morning, say you get to your destination, they unload you, you roll up all your tarps, put all your straps away, put your chains away, whatever you have, put all that stuff away, you know, then you go drive however far you got to drive, maybe 50 miles, 100 miles, whatever your deadhead is, pick up your new load, and then you're going to spend an hour or so strapping, tarping, all that stuff. So you're going to spend a lot more time doing that. You know, you're going to spend 30 minutes to an hour unstrapping and untarping, and probably close an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half strapping and tarping, depending on what you have. You're only going to run 500 miles a day, maybe, you know, 400 or 500 miles a day, 5 days a week, compared to where vans, you're back into a dock, they load you, and you're going, you know, with van driving, you could pull, you know, maybe 600 miles. The other thing with flatbeds, at least whenever I drove flatbeds with Boyd Brothers, you dropped off and picked up and then dropped off the next day. So in a 5-day week, I would drop off 4 times. A lot of the van people that drive over the road will end up going, you know, picking up a load on Monday and not delivering it till Wednesday, and just driving, you know, half a day or 3/4 day Monday, all day Tuesday, get to their destination, drop it off on Wednesday, pick up on Wednesday afternoon, and drive the rest of the day Wednesday, drive all day Thursday, and maybe drop off on Friday, and get a whole lot of miles, to where when I ran flatbeds, at least I did, I would almost pick up and deliver every day, and it would be nothing for me to do 4 loads and a lot of times 5 loads in a 5-day period. So and that's strapping, tarping, unstrapping, untarping twice a day, 4 to 5 loads a day. So it is definitely a lot more physical, but you will get compensated more, and you'll end up making more money on less miles. If you think that's not possible, but you will, you definitely will make more money and you'll run less miles. Probably flatbed, and I probably ran closer. I did run 5 days a week, so probably 2,200 miles, 2,300 miles. Maybe a big week I might have ran 25, 26. You know, and if you only ran 4 loads, say if you only ran 4 loads and say you go shut down for a day or whatever, maybe 1,900 miles, to where in a van you might run 3,000, 3,500 in a week. So just a couple differences if you're looking to get in a flatbed. If you are not afraid to work and not afraid to sweat, not afraid to get out there and do it, you'll do fine in flatbeds. But if you want to sit around, play on the internet, play on TikTok, whatever, and just drive, just be a steering wheel holder, then probably vans is where you want to be. But it's very rewarding. I love flatbeds, and I would never drive anything but flatbeds. But everybody's different, and you know, it might be for you, it might not. There's only one way to find out. Sign up for flatbeds and see if you like it.